Tropical update as of 8 a.m. PST, September 12th. Today we got tropical storm 19 because obviously radar surface observation showed tropical storm force winds, but they ain't see considered depression for some reason. It's about right there, about ready to move off southwestern coast of Florida. The NHC advisory says that the high pattern has changed little. It ranged 30 knots for some reason, even with tropical storm force winds 50 to 60 knots at 1,000 feet on radar last night. It's moving to 8 by 8 knots. Expected to strengthen during the next couple of days. This year will be pretty favorable, but with and very warm waters. They say moderate shear, but I think this thing will probably have more favorable conditions than that, based on some of the models. Right now, it's north of west, moving at 280 by 8 knots, and the highest forecast we can do within 2 to 3 days, which should lead to a another forecast notice by Monday. And the forecast is moving slower by 96 hours, so it could almost stall off the coast. It's forecast to rebuild over Florida Peninsula in 45 days, which pushes us across the coastline to the end of the forecast period. They went with the HCCA. They go. They now go to hurricane by 60 hours for 19. Let's look at the models. Which they're being crappy today. Let's be honest. Here's the IR of it. Here's the track of it. West northwest and northwest into the mouth of Mississippi to Mississippi, which is in line with most of the models, which have shifted east with this storm. It could be as far west as Florida. I mean east as the Florida Panhandle to west to Louisiana. The NAC maintains this idea of a Louisiana landfall, but it could be Mississippi, Alabama, or Florida Panhandle. GFS neighbors. Strength. A lot of the main models really do like it. Take it a hurricane. The conditions should be quite favorable in the Gulf before strengthening, as I was just saying. We can take a look at some other models. Here's the NAM Cozy 974. Once again, the Cozy suite of models. Really, here's the 60 HWRF 976. HWF had 78 hours, even further in the future, as opposed to that 963. So, here's the 60 models, GFS, west northwest, into Louisiana, eastern parts of Louisiana. Makes landfall around 90 hours. So yeah, what I think is going to be coming to a storm. I think it always is a storm. I think it may landfall as a storm. With 50 to 60 knot tropical storm force winds and a surface observation of 41 knots. I mean, let's be honest. It will strengthen to a hurricane within 36 hours in the Gulf of Mexico. 36 hours, then become possibly a mid to upper range Cat 1 by landfall. in my opinion. Could be a little bit stronger than that. Next, we're going to look at Pilot, which frankly hasn't become any better organized, and it's still stalling becoming a hurricane. Um, let's take a look at it. That's 95. That's reading. Here's Pilot. Clearly hasn't become any better organized. Probably around 6. I'll be down to around 50 knots, in my opinion. Still dealing with shear. Same thing could be less. But they're still forecasting it becoming almost a major hurricane. We can show you the track stuff. Here's the track. Take it towards Bermuda as a hurricane. Then once past Bermuda, it gets caught up in the trough. Gets kicked northeasterly, which is in line with the models. Intensity model will still make it a hurricane in the next 12 hours, starting to delta, and makes it a definite Cat 2, in line with the ANC models. I'm going to say something right now, based on the way it looks. It will probably take at least another 12 hours to become a hurricane. But I still expect a hurricane by Bermuda. I think it could still become a low-end Cat 2, but we'll have to see how shear goes. And that's just the way it is. The ship and the HWRF forecast a major hurricane for this system in 72 hours. So there's definitely model support for a very strong storm. It's just that it's just how vertical shear, if it can drop and the conditions become favorable for that to allow that. Now we're going to go look at Irene, which is barely a tropical storm, moving northwestward, should stay out at sea. Shouldn't really strengthen based on the ANSY's latest thinking. Here's rain. Northwestward the next couple of days, then of course southwestward thereafter. This could be a flight, like I was talking about yesterday. This is a flight in opener of 495 out on any system behind it, which is 97 now. This shows clearly that the models clearly support this idea. Really, it's forecast to weaken. This system could dissipate, in my opinion. Let's take a quick look at the advisory. Oh, they went down to tropical depression. I agree. AS schedule only shows 28 knots. It's moving northwestward at 11 knots. They forecast it to weaken. So I expect it. So yeah, it's a good idea to forecast dissipation, but it could still be a fly in the ointment. But the weaker it is, the less influential it will be to 95. Now we're going to look at 95, which has an 80-90 chance of formation. It is right here. Clearly has a nice LLC convection to the west of the center. It's moving very, very slowly. I mean, it could just crawl the next few days. Here's the GFS. Here's about where 95 is. This is 24 hours from now. "48 hours from now. Just falls. Here's 97 to the north. We can show you a picture of 97. Which frankly always looks better. I mean, 97 has a 3060. I mean, the models have definitely showed development for this system. getting this to load. Takes a few minutes sometimes. Wow. Wow, it went back to this storm for some reason. It's going to take its sweet time, but I think we can look at a long-range photo of 97, which is pretty organized. To the northwest 95. 95's got to become Tubby pretty soon. It's going to move west-northwest slowly, and models indicate going north of the islands in about 5 to 7 days. It does not look like my data wants to show it loaded. So let's look at 95 models first. And clearly 95, based on the hurricane models, are forecast to move west-northwest for the next 2 to 3 days, then northwestward. Also, the GFS neighbors, which are further to the west than the hurricane models, but long term literally curves, like I keep saying. I mean, the top up the east coast, they're going to pretty much deflect everything out to sea. Intensity models, strong pretty likely. I think this will be named within the next 24 hours. The system behind 97L, oh, it looks really good. Here's IR. Clearly, it already has westerly winds. Intensity guidance shows possibly tropical storm. Let's see if we can bring up. It's a shame we don't got those in yet. This whole page sometimes is really slow in loading. Oh wow, here we go. Definitely LSE. Definitely convection moving over the Cape Verdes. Possibly a depression in the next 24 hours, in my opinion, for 97L, and then a tropical storm. Let's go back to the GFS. Clearly, here's 97 up here, where my plus is. Here's 95. Probably it showed a 966 at 48 hours. I'm trying to doubt that, in my opinion, as I keep saying. Sally is making landfall in Louisiana by this time. Clearly, both of these systems, 97 and 95, are going to be influencing each other. 97 moves to the northwest, while 95 moves to the west-northwest. Yep, there's 96 hours, 120 hours. Clearly the GFS was to keep it more westward, so I'd say it's still affected on, but most likely based on the models it's going to miss to the north. Now let's go into the Western Pacific, which we really got one system we're watching right now there. It's a 92V. Forecast to move away from Mexico west-northwestward, and probably has a pretty good chance of becoming a tropical storm. Here it is on the GFS. Looks 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 96 hours, 120 hours. Let's take a look at the satellite of it. Go down here. Clearly, the NEC says it looks pretty darn good. Here's latest look at the satellite of it. Clear LSC, but displaced by easily share the convection. let's look at their latest discussion for it. As a 70-80 currently, I think it would develop. Clearly, at all different LC. But compared to the Linux right now, I'd say Ace Pacific only have one system compared to this. I mean, Jesus. I mean, Sally firing in the Gulf probably got to become a hurricane for Louisiana or Mississippi or the Florida Panhandle. Call it going to become a hurricane in the next 24 hours, in my opinion. Potential Cat 2. Rain dissipating, 95, potentially moving north of the islands, becoming a tropical storm. 97 becoming another tropical storm. Well, that's your really busy tropical update.